everybody. This is Bob Goodwin, and welcome to another episode of Career Club Live. This week with Career Club, we're featuring Next Placement, which is our innovation in the outplacement category, where we're focusing not on who's out, but what's next by bringing a more human-centric and empathetic approach to helping employees who might be transitioning to their next role. Today, we are really excited to be talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, which is titled, Why is it so damn hard to sell to retailers? And with that, we've got a couple of guests here that I'm really pleased to have join us. Felipe Gonzalez. Felipe is the former principal technologist at H-E-B, which is one of the most revered retailers in the United States, and is now the Innovation Sherpa for Wired for Biz, where he helps emerging technology companies connect with their commercial partners, as well as a former colleague of mine and friend, Larry Payne, who leads North America Retail for StrataCash, a digital transformation company. So with that, guys, welcome.
Hey, good to be here.
There we go. Okay, now we've got it going on. So great to see you guys.
You as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, I was going to say, where are you calling in from? Felipe?
Larry? Oh, well, so I'm calling in from Portugal. A little place near Porto, yeah. So as together with my change in recently changing careers, I decided that I need to be closer to the action in Europe for a while. Cool. Trying to check out the tech scene in Europe and how it relates to the US.
No, that's very cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. And Larry, where are you calling in from today?
I'm sitting down in sunny, warm South Carolina.
So. I'm envious. You can see I'm repping my Norwegian sweater today because I'm in Cincinnati and I am cold. So feeling a little bit better now that I'm getting warmed up. But just very quickly for our guests, do you mind just explaining, Felipe, you can go first, but just, like in 30 seconds, just a little bit about your career arc, and then Larry, it'll be your turn.
Sure.
Yeah. So I would say, for about 30 years, I worked at H-E-B. I did hold a couple of other jobs. H-E-B was my primary. And I held pretty much every job in digital at first. So whether it's servers and network and clients and security. And eventually I made it over to the business side and took over some innovation, emerging technologies, and was able to work with my digital counterparts to build how is it that what is next? What is Horizon 2 and Horizon 3 at H-E-B? Along those lines, I also helped with setting up operation shops in several businesses in San Antonio and around. So that's been my career. I guess I like to say I have a digital upbringing, but a business head now.
There you go. And now you're at Wired for Biz.
Mm-hmm. So now Wired for Biz, it's my own consulting company. I'm trying to take what I learned at H-E-B, what I've learned over the years, and apply it, not just to them, but to the rest of the retail industry and the rest of the emerging tech companies, both in the U.S. as well as in Europe. And
well, I'm really looking for us to dial into your expertise and experience and all that. And then, Larry, just a little bit, as I mentioned, we were former colleagues once upon a time. Do you mind just sort of sharing a little bit about your career?
Oh, it's not much to tell. I spent most of my early years in the CPG world, working, leading sales teams, leading brand teams. Spent some time with Bob over at IRI, working on the technology side of data, and been into the, if you want to say, retail technology, marketing technology space now since about 2009. Yeah. Really across multiple avenues of leveraging real-time location services data to help retailers really uncover what's going on inside their four walls. And that's kind of been it. I really see myself as more of a technology partner. I don't like to say that I'm in sales or anything like that. I really work with folks like Felipe to help retailers think a little bit differently about what's happening inside the four walls. And that really brings a lot of incremental new value to the retail space and helps them start to think more along the lines of how do I manage and leverage a retail media network and things like that. So it's I kind of consider myself to be an open-ended technologist as opposed to a BD or sales or marketing.
No, that's cool. Love it. No, that's awesome. So our format here is pretty interesting. As I said in the introduction, why is it so damn hard to sell to retailers? And as someone who's tried to do that and been massively frustrated, I'm very interested in learning all the stuff I was doing wrong and could have done better. But the format here today is really interesting because it's, and Larry, sorry, because I'm going to put you in a box you don't want to be in for half a second, but it's sort of the retailer and the technology provider. I'll stop short of vendor. You're welcome. But kind of coming out from both sides of the relationship. So, if I'm this technology solution provider, kind of what's it look like from that side of the desk? And then, Felipe, from yours, it's like, well, I've got people pitching me all the time, and sort of like, when's it work and why does it not work a lot of the time? And so I think this is going to be for all of my friends, in retail, in data, analytics, technology, is going to be very illuminating for a little bit of, again, kind of do's and don'ts. And I think you guys have a really neat playbook that people can apply. So I'm really looking forward to our chat.
Sure. Happy to share.
So maybe we could just start off with, and again, you guys can run with this how you want, but some of the myths and misconceptions of selling to retail. I know, Felipe, we've talked about the $1 million pitch as an example, but you want to kind of lead us off?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this happens all the time, right? So we have a new emerging technology. Something gets ChatGPT is the latest thing, right? So someone comes to us with to HEB and says, "Look, we're going to implement some generative AI for HEB, and it's going to revolutionize the way you sell. It's going to uplift your sales for 10%, and your employees are going to be happy. And all we need is for you to invest $5 million and let us be here for a year, and you'll see what benefits." I mean, we can show you on paper. This is how we did the math, and in the Excel spreadsheet, and it shows that you're going to gain back that plus some. Well, of course, number one, we've never seen it in the market. It's new to the market. We don't know if it's going to do what you say it's going to do. So many variables that are out there, so many players that are out there. We're not going to, it's not even a question for us. You're not going to make $1 million off of us in the first year. And that's because, number one, there's a lot of people vying for that money. But also, number two, we're in the low margin world. So we're going to make sure that this is going to gain back what we expect. And we're going to look at gross revenue, not sales. And we're going to look at what's the impact on the labor and what's the impact on the customer. And there's so many things that we're going to look at. And we're absolutely not going to trust that someone who hasn't been in the market is going to give us that silver bullet as many others have offered throughout the years. In a nutshell, that's what it's about. Larry, what do you think?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I think, if you look at the math, I think Felipe and I identified, this is before COVID, over a two-year period, about $9 billion worth of test and learn or POCs or pilot trials that have really failed just in the US alone from the standpoint of technology implementation. And you look at the reasons why, I think there's a foundational element behind why these things fail. And that's because most technology providers today are simply employing a spray and pray strategy where they're out trying to talk to everyone. I've always taken a little different approach, and this is why Felipe and I work so well together over the years, is that I spend a lot of time trying to understand things like coherence. How is it relevant and compelling to what HEB or whatever retailer X wants to accomplish? If you don't take the time to understand and build that trust, you're going nowhere. And I think a lot of people truly don't have the will, skill, and quite frankly, luxury to invest the time in building the trust and understanding the client so they can really craft their solution. I always tell all the folks over at HEB that Felipe makes me smarter. And that's very true because he makes me think about things that maybe we didn't consider in our model that we needed to adjust. So taking the time to understand, don't just go in and say we have the latest and greatest. Understand the culture of the retailer you're trying to work with. That takes time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes you being curious.
Quick question. So on coherence and what's the retailer trying to accomplish? Why is it not enough to just generically say, well, we know you're trying to grow sales, or to your point, gross revenue. We know you're trying to improve productivity. We know you're trying to drive trips. We know that you want to, increase profitability because you live in this super low margin world. Well, that's what our thing does. It helps on one or more of those, key metrics. Why isn't that good enough?
Because the how is different for every retailer. It's the old why, how, and what approach. Sure, everybody wants to grow baskets, grow sales, sell more, be more efficient, make more money. But every retailer's approach to that, and I mean every retailer's approach to that, is unique because their culture is unique, their speed is unique, the cadence of the organization is unique, the amount of noise coming into the system is unique, the competitive threats are unique. It's not the same. There's no one size fits all in talking about technology with retailers. So helping them truly understand how your stuff fits into their stuff is really the advantage you can create for yourself as a partner to roll technology across.
So Felipe, casting it from your side, again, just what we said, I can drive trips, I can drive basket size, I can drive loyalty, I can drive productivity. Like those are all things I know HEB cares about.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we don't trust you. I mean, that's what it's all about. At the beginning, we don't trust you. So as Larry pointed out, the first thing you have to do is gain that trust. Is prove to us, not prove to us in the sense of, again, give us $5 million and we'll prove it to you, but prove to us that we can trust that we even want to spend the time to trial this. So who are we talking to? Are you even? Do you have the chops to be able to tell us this? Did you run the numbers? Did you do the market research? Did you actually do a trial, or are you willing to do the trial on your dime to show us that this is?
But I'm a small company. I can't do a trial on my own dime.
I get it. This is why
I need your logo in my deck, man.
Yeah, you need the logo so you can go sell to the VC. That's what you do. What you need, and you know what? There are companies that will do that. Naive companies, let's call it, naive managers that will go through and say, yeah, sure, I'll put my stamp on it, just so I can put a PR piece out, or that I can show someone that I checked the checklist and said, yeah, I trialed this. But if you want the long-term success, that's not going to happen. And you know what? To your point, Bob, if you're a small company, you may not have a dime to be able to do a full-scale test, call it, and there may be some investment from both sides, but there's got to be something. There's got to be something for me to hold on to, for me to say why. There's a company, I won't get into names and things, but there's a company that I've been hearing from probably close to 5 years with this grandiose idea, wonderful idea. It's one of these, Jetsons type of thing that's along the lines for grocery companies. And they have this beautiful 3D rendering and PowerPoint and even the ROI numbers and a compelling PowerPoint story. And that's what they've had for the past 5 years. Nobody's taken them up on it. Nobody's done anything with them. Why? Because nobody trusts that they can actually execute on the vision, on this dream. Yeah. It's a wonderful dream, but that's what it is. So it's how do you move past that? Well, you move past that several ways, right? Is what we were discussing. It's build a relationship, because you're really buying into the person and the organization, not necessarily the product, especially when it has to do with emerging tech. Because when emerging tech, it's not going to work the first time. No. If it did, then it's not emerging tech, right? If it did, then you already have a packaged product and you should be selling it. Yeah, it's proven tech. So you're not buying into the tech. You're buying into the people and the organization and the backing and whatever you are presenting yourself as needs to be that signature, the certificate that says, yes, if you work with me, eventually we're going to have success. And that's what's really going to get a retailer, a smart retailer, to bet on you.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of retailers out there, Bob, that love kicking tires, that really have no intent to commercialize any type of emerging technology. And that's okay, but everyone trying to sell within that space, I would advise them to choose their partners carefully if you're a small company, and really make sure that you can provide a solution that fits into the culture of what you're trying to accomplish with the retailer. And just don't run in there selling, new and shiny. Spend that time, as Felipe said, build the partnership, build the trust, but also realize that every 30 days, you need to purposely assess where you are in your pilot or in your POC, because it's very important that you know where you are at all times, because if you don't, priorities pop up, things change, and you can't navigate a new path to get you where you want to go. So you have to really make sure you do those very purposeful 30-day check-ins, very purposeful on where you are, where you're going, accept where you are, then start to really route a new path at that retailer. And that's important.
So quick question, Larry, because I obviously empathize with you more because being a sales person, well, I'm a salesperson, you're a consultant. But would you advise a young tech company, and Felipe, given you're wired for biz practice, you can chime in too, please. But it's like, is it better to spread some bets across a number of retailers because priorities are going to change, budgets are going to get dropped? Felipe left HEB and now he's in Portugal. I mean, like all kinds of crap happens. Or is it smarter to go narrow and really deep with one or two retailers?
It depends on your financial position as a technology provider. If the VCs are asking you to fill the pipeline, then that's what you do. You go out and you spray and you pray. But if you have the wherewithal and the staying power to focus on, I would say, 3 to 5 retailers that fit not only your culture, but what you're trying to accomplish, and really go deep there, that's going to be an advantage for you if you can afford to do it. So it really depends on your position as a tech company. A lot of folks, they simply are just out there going to shows, going to conferences, and handing out business cards and trying to schedule meetings. And if they were honest, they would tell you that 99.9% of that is a waste of time. But it really comes down to the demands of your business model and how you want to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And if valuation is your goal, then get out there and try to get as many things going as you can, because that helps you get round 2 of funding and things like that.
Maybe, right? Because
Maybe.
I mean, the word picture that's coming in my mind is burning logs or burning straw. So you can be burning a lot of straw, and we've got 20, 25 retailers in the pipeline. But if none of them are real, none of them are actually going to last, then maybe you kept your job for another quarter because you made it through another, board of directors meeting, but like nothing's closing, right? Because we're actually not building those real relationships. We're just trying to demonstrate Salesforce is full of opportunities. Get off my back for 3 months.
Yep.
Felipe, how do you counsel your clients?
No, I agree with you 100%. So I would say if you do your market, it goes back. Larry mentioned, I mean, it is the budget and it's what is it you're trying to achieve. But I would say if you know your market, you'll know who to deal with. So if this company, I'll say, is an introvert or an extrovert. In other words, is the idea, HEB is an introvert. I'll say that. I'll probably get in trouble for it. But the idea is, from a business technology perspective, HEB like to do their things their own way, and they like to do it internally. They don't like to be big, splashy. We're going to do PR. We're going to go and tell the world what we're doing. I respect that. If you want to work with someone like that to improve your your product to actually gain, become smarter, as Larry pointed out, that's the kind of company you want to deal with. If, on the other hand, what you want is a lot of PR and you want a lot of headlines and you want to do your valuation, then that's probably not what you want. But yeah, there's nobody who has, or nobody should have, the resources to just go pray and spray, because it's not going to get you anywhere. But having some strategic partners, having some strategic companies that you're working with, and yeah, you're not going to shut the door if somebody comes knocking, but you're going to better utilize your talent that way.
Yeah, you can't be afraid to say no. That's for sure.
Yeah, asking the question, a different question, but from the retailer's side of the desk. Given the rapid change of pace of technology, it sort of presents at least two conundrums I can think of. One is FOMO, like, crap, we need to get on this technology horse because that's sort of the thing right now. But then the flip side of that is the thing's going to change in 6 months. And so how do you really decide this thing has enough lasting power to make a bet on?
You call me. It's that's a big question, and that's exactly what I've been learning how to do for the past 30 years. The reality is that there is a lot of technologies out there that are just money waste, money pits, right? And they will eventually become something better. And it will become something real. But for a long time, what you want to do is you want to study and you want to let the market settle, or you want to trial some things, but not spend lots of money on it, just little money. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, but you really need to learn how to be the sommelier in that sense. You need to understand. And Larry and I have spoken to it many times. For example, there's a big company that starts with an A and ends with an N that likes to do a lot of technology PR as well, and comes out with these things like autonomous stores. And then all the retailers are running behind them and trying to say, oh, we want to do it too. We want to do it too, before it's even been proven that it's actually going to make any money or save any time.
Right,
or
that's the
do
FOMO side of this whole thing.
Yeah. It's glittery, it's shiny and sexy, and maybe there's some validity to study it or trial it or do maybe. But when's the right time to do that, and when's the right time to actually put money down and do some big things with it? That's something that needs to be done with not just one head, but several heads put together and decide that, what are your executives expecting? We always talk about the executives in the plane used to be reading the newspaper, now watching the webcast or whatever the case may be, and going, oh my God, we got to do this. And then there's a knee-jerk reaction of, okay, everybody shift gears, start working on this. That's dangerous, very dangerous, right? The opposite is dangerous too, the status quo. Oh, we've always done it this way, let's keep doing it this way.
Yeah,
it's the idea of being able to, in the right time, do the right thing for your business that's going to get you to win in the end.
Yeah, it's the bite-sized chunks that actually have flavor versus the ones that you spit out. And that's kind of an interesting thought about it as well. There's a lot of people that, they chase the Amazon rabbits. Amazon kind of laughs, I think, because they probably forced retailers to spend money on stuff they shouldn't be spending money on.
A war of attrition. That's actually pretty interesting. It's almost like a false flag endeavor, right? Well, let's get everybody chasing this thing. We've got AWS, so we can throw a couple $1 billion on things that don't even matter, just to get everybody else, going in the wrong direction on something.
Yep, it's fun. It's interesting to watch, because whenever it happens, Felipe will send me a text and go, another rabbit, and and then I'll look at it and go, yep, there's another
rabbit. Run.